Hello friends, it's your girl E, your favorite purple haired notary, and I'm here today with a quick video. I'm hoping that it's quick, and this one is about why I stopped using VOIP lines. And the reason for that is, I just looked it up and it just says it utilizes voice over internet protocol. I still don't really know what that means. It allows, I guess, for you to make calls over the internet on your phone. I don't know. If you know what that means, let me know. But I was using Dialpad originally. So that just meant like I downloaded an app, kind of like Google Voice. I was using Google Voice. And the reason I stopped initially using Google Voice when I first started my business was because I didn't like that it said that it was Google Voice. You know, you've reached like a Google Voice number, like please hold or say your name. However that went, I didn't like it, but it definitely like worked for the time that I was using Google Voice. Then I moved over to Dialpad because going on YouTube and looking up what was the best like alternative, basically stepping up my business, right? Dialpad was highly recommended in comparisons to some of the other providers, and I went with Dialpad. That was fine until you had to now you have to like register like any type of business lines and like how you're gonna use it. People have to like opt in for you to text them, and I get it, but then I also don't like it just because it gave me a hassle. I had the Dialpad number maybe for like a year before they started doing like the SMS registration, and then once they got it last year when I tried to register, which I don't text my notary leads or clients too much just because they book whatever, and then sometimes they talk to me through Square, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. And I would also just let them know like, hey, you can't text this number, but like you can give me a call if anything like changes. Some people love to text, and I couldn't text back, and I would just let them know like I can't text back at this number, just call me. And that was fine. That worked for like a year, and I tried again, and I had customer service walk me through the entire process, give me word for word of what they need to see for the approval of getting my like SMS, my text messages registered, and I still didn't pass. So at that point, I was over it because it was a year. Did what you did what you asked, wrote the information that you told me to ask, to write in, you know, to register the number, gave you everything that you needed, and I still wasn't approved. So, okay, now this is not helping my business because so many people just prefer text, and I'm like, okay, I need to be able to like text people back. So I asked a fellow notary friend, so I decided to try a new line, which that was Grasshopper. I asked a notary friend who's been in the business for a while, and I'm like, well, you know, you must be having like a good experience, so like, what are you using? They recommended Grasshopper. Per their suggestion, I downloaded Grasshopper. I only had Grasshopper for, we're in June, maybe since April. Same deal. I had to obviously like port the number. That took a while. I was looking at it visually. I think I like Dialpad better, but I was like, whatever, maybe I just have to get used to it. All good. So I had the same issue. My issue more or less with Grasshopper was I missed more calls. Dialpad also did the same. Like, it would say someone called me, but my phone never rang. So some calls I didn't even receive, and that was very annoying because now I'm missing like leads, and it's not like they're gonna call back. Although they can just book me on my website, some people just prefer to call, and so I'm missing calls from my leads, and that's not good, right? I just see money flying out the door. Dialpad, that happened. That was another annoyance with Dialpad, but like I said, it might be like 1 or 2 calls. But when I switched to Grasshopper, that shit went from 1 or 2 calls a week to 6 calls in a day that my phone never rang. You dig? Like, that is 6 leads that are gone. If they're general notary appointments, that's $600 just like gone out my head 600 plus. Like, and if they're higher paying services, notary services, that's even more money lost. And that was also a huge annoyance. I didn't even try to register for the text messages, just because that alone, happening on a regular basis, I would open up the Dialpad app just because, sorry, the Grasshopper app, just because, and I'd see several missed calls, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. I don't care what the issue is. Like, I'm out. I wasted my time with like Dialpad, and I feel like sometimes when things don't work out for me, I need to like move on quicker. Sometimes I try to give it a chance, an opportunity to get better, and I need to stop that. Like, as soon as it's just like not meeting my needs, I need to like let it go. So I decided to do that with Dialpad. I'm sorry, Grasshopper. I was only on Grasshopper for like 5 seconds, so I don't recommend either. Maybe it's user error on me, I don't know, but I genuinely don't have time to sit on the phone to figure like some things out. And if it's not going to be user friendly, quick startup, then I don't need to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm over it. Like, I'm fine with doing customer service calls here and there, but like, no, my phone is always blowing up. You know, I'm a realtor as well. I don't have time. I don't have the time to figure out the drama. And right now I also don't have an assistant for somebody else to do that. But I would also prefer them to be doing something more important than figuring out how to use Dialpad or Grasshopper. But I digress. I'm saying all that to say, which, you know, my friend who has been just telling me, get a second line. And I'm like, but a second line is double what having the VOIP lines, right? Because Grasshopper was cheaper than Dialpad. Dialpad said it was $25 a month, but I was really paying $42 a month. And I paid for Grasshopper straight for the year, just because it was recommended to me by somebody. I'm like, it has to work, it has to be good. And I usually don't pay for a service that I've never used before, like for the year outright. So I mean, I lost the yearly cost. The yearly cost was only $136. So I mean, I lost $11 a month. But the fact that I didn't use it for too long, I used it for maybe like 3 months, I lost $100 on that. So that I'm not happy for. And I'm saying all that to say, I got a second phone. I decided to get the second line because of that. I felt like I was losing business, and I really wasn't into that. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't text them. So yeah, so moved on. I got a second line. I decided to get an Android. Low-key, I feel like I should have gotten the Razor. I don't know if, side note, if you're watching Love Island, my new obsession, and it's been on for a while, but whatever, I'm all into it. And they have like the little Razor flip phones, and someone that I met recently at a networking event also had it. I kind of regret not getting that phone. There is a restock fee if I take this back, but another big inconvenience is if I wanted to trade this in or get a different phone. I don't mind paying the restock fee, which is $50, they told me. The only issue with that is that I had to go to, what do they call it? I forget what they called it. A regional store? No, I don't remember. Basically, I had to go like super far. It's like an hour and change. I pay $50 and then like switch out the phone. So I don't know, maybe in like 2 years or so I'll upgrade it to a different line. I don't know, but I got the Galaxy. This is the Galaxy S Plus. I think that's what it is. I've been using an iPhone since the iPhone 4, and we're on 16. So whenever the iPhone 4 came out, that's how long I've been on an iPhone. So this has been quite an adjustment. I've only had it for like a week now. I'm okay with this so far. I do like this is the little AI design that it has. Cute. And I also do see some of the similarities to things that Apple has taken from from like this Android world, but like I digress. I'm still learning how to use it. It was really rough in the beginning porting my number over from Dialpad, but so far I think that I'm feeling better about having an Android. It's definitely easier to work, like, because I also do field inspections. It's definitely easier to work doing my field inspections. I think the emails, which is Google, I use Gmail and Outlook. I think they both look better on this phone and easier to use. Yikes. Cameras and filming stuff yet. I have not like used this just yet. I've only had it for a week, and no missed calls. Do they sometimes like filter the calls out? Because I have Verizon, so Verizon has like this spam filter. I think it works really well, but it still gives me the option to like pick up the call, and then I would just like block the number when it's spam. But I'm really enjoying having it. Feels a little bit difficult now, like to have two phones. Today I went out to do an open house for one of my new rental properties, and I forgot this phone home. I was like sick with anxiety, thinking that like, oh my god, someone's calling me. But for some reason the weekends, although I'm open to service on the weekends like 7 days a week, I don't really get bookings on the weekend. I'll get one like here or there. They'll book in advance. Sometimes they ask first, but I don't get booked too often over the weekend. Although like I'm open, on my website it says that I'm open. I don't get booked too much on the weekend, so it was dry. And recently, Thursday actually, I had someone called, and then they realized like, oh, like you can book on my website. So he just booked on my website, and I was able to text them. I couldn't do it because I was already booked, but I had another notary that was able to go out. So I was able to text them, you know, this is your notary for our assigned appointment. Make sure to have your IDs. And normally I just email, but not everyone reads their email. So I'm glad that I can have like both options of being able to call, text, and email. Like texting was a big thing that I was missing out on with those VOIP lines. I think eventually I may have to go back and figure it out, and maybe at that point I have money that somebody else like can deal with it, but like me, I do not currently have the mental capacity to do so. So yeah, now I'm on this two phone life. This is my work phone. I think I also enjoy the separation more, because I will leave this on silent, on vibrate. I don't care. Like, don't contact me if it's not for money. But this is always on, like it's always on ring. I have to get used to it though. The other day at another networking event, it was ringing, and I'm like, who's not answering their phone and just letting it ring? And I realized that it was me. I didn't feel the vibration, but I was hearing it. It was me ringing. So I have to get used to having a phone and one that's ringing. But other than that, like, super excited. No missed calls on this joint. Every call that I've had so far with business, I'm able to answer, pick up, answer questions, just tell people to go on my website and book. And it's been fucking great. I highly recommend just having like a different phone for your business, like just keeping them separate. I thought, and it worked. It was fine for starting my business, but I've been doing this for 5 years. And it worked for the time being, but now I just feel like where I'm at, like I like the separation. I really do. So yeah, if you're an entrepreneur, like if you're thinking about like getting a second phone, I highly recommend it. Again, it's only been a week and I just feel so much lighter and better as far as conversation goes. I'm also going to move like my real estate stuff to this phone, and this is just going to be all business, which might end up me being on this phone way more. Because when I am like working, like I said, emails, all that stuff is better off this Android phone. I don't think that I'll completely switch, but now I get to like live both worlds, and I'm into it. I'm into it a lot. If you were thinking about getting a second phone, a second line, I highly recommend. It's great separation. Because if I see something that's like business related right here, I mean, I'm always going to see the emails, but like a message, I'm going to feel like the need to text and like be super distracted. And I had a family event the first week of having this phone, and I was just able to kind of like not really worried about any of those things because it was in my bag. Did I check it on occasion? Yes, but this is the phone that I'm walking around in my hand with, and this was just like chilling in my purse, right? Like if it rang, I'm there. I got booked while I was there, but yeah, good vibes. If you're thinking about getting a second line, I highly recommend doing so, like for your business. I do not, for cost purposes, because having an additional line now means I am paying an extra $100 a month. With Dialpad, I was paying 42, so you know I'm paying a little bit more than double than I was paying for having that line, but I'll take the double if that means my calls are being answered. Those leads are getting, you know, I'm getting to those leads that are inquiring, which would then, of course, in my head, it's going to lead to more business, more closed deals, because I'm able to have those phone calls are going to come in. So at the end of the day, I think that it's going to be worth it. But of course, if you're just starting and have like $40, $30, or what, Grasshopper comes out to, if you pay for the year, it comes out to $11 a month. If that's something that's more affordable for you right now, absolutely do it. But then whenever you can, whenever like, you know, it's something that you can afford to be a part of your business, upgrade as soon as possible. Don't wait as long as I did. I waited like 5 years to get it done. But I'm happy that I did it. I probably should have did it last year. It was recommended to me for me to do so, but you know, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna try something else, and I should have just listened. But it's like that sometimes. It's like that sometimes. I'm glad that I did it. I'm super excited to continue to learn to use this phone. If you are a Galaxy Android person, like, let me know, like, some tips and tricks. I've been watching videos already on what I can do with this phone, its capabilities, and so I'm excited to again try something new. I've been a Apple user for years. All of my products like are Apple. Like I am in the ecosystem through and through. The watch not so much, and that's only because I had a 12, and once your phone is outdated, it no longer works like together. Because then I had like a older watch, and when I got the 12, I couldn't use they like didn't connect anymore, and that I didn't like, because things are always like changing so fast, yet it still works, and I can't use them together. Like, no. I have an iPad. I just got a Mac Mini, so I am deep in this ecosystem. But I'm excited to try something new and see what this Android world is about. All right, that's it. Get a second line if you can afford it. Like, hop in and get that second line. I'm telling you, it feels so much better. You're not gonna miss as much calls. So therefore, I do not recommend the Grasshopper, and I do not recommend Dialpad. That's it. That's the video. Thanks for watching. You already know what's up. Subscribe if you want some more notary tips, my journey, my suggestions on me like being a, you know, an entrepreneur. Please follow your girl. I'd love it and appreciate it, because it's absolutely free 99. Thanks for watching. Bye.